Namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tatum jayam udirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama bhaktir bhavati naishtaki guruve gaur chandraya radhikaya tadalaye krishnaya krishna bhaktaya tad bhaktaya namo namaha नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रिये कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमो किञ्चन वित्ताय निवृत्तगुणवृत्तये आत्मा रामाय शान्ताय केवल्ये पतये नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you so much, dear Vaishnavas, for joining. We'll study Canto 8 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Chapter 19, Lord Vamanadeva begs charity from Bali Maharaj. We read till text number 24 last time of this chapter. Very, very important. 24 is a memory verse. I mean, actually, there's a lot of practical lessons in this chapter. Every chapter has a lot of lessons, but this chapter is very, very important because in this day and age, everyone practically, or majority, let's say, are afflicted with the greed of wealth, thinking that that's the solution to the problems. But this chapter, in so many verses, clarifies that that's actually the root of all the problems. Isn't that a like a paradigm shift? The like same as we were discussing in the Bhagavad Gita yesterday. Arjuna was thinking that fighting or not fighting will make me happy. But Krishna did a 180-degree switch. Oh my dear child, you think that not fighting will make you happy and free from sins, but totally opposite will happen. Not fighting will inflict you in more sinful reactions and more painful outcomes. So, therefore, Bhagavatam is so important. It just switches the paradigm. Rather than going in the west, we have to go east. Rather than going south, we have to go north. Therefore, being guided by Bhagavatam is so important. Book Bhagavatam, person Bhagavatam. Yadrichaya, whatever comes by one's own accord, by dutiful endeavor, santushta, one should be happy. That's the formula for sukham. And so, satisfaction by things which come of one's own accord by the plan of the Supreme Lord, one should be happy. That's this first in paraphrase. Those who are not satisfied, na santushto, they can achieve the tribhir loka, the three planetary systems they can achieve, the upper, middle, lower. They will not be happy. Those whose senses are not controlled, those who are always craving for more, there is no end to desires. So that we read last time. Now let's move to 25. Pumsoyam samsmriter hetur asantosho arthakamayoh yadrichaya papanena santosho muktaye smritaha. Translation by S.D. Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Material existence causes discontent in regard to fulfilling one's lusty desires and achieving more and more money. This is the cause of continuation of material life, which is full of repeated birth and death. But one who is satisfied by which is obtained by destiny is fit for liberation from this material existence. Hare Krishna. Isn't it powerful again? Prabhupada is repeating this, or sorry, Bhagavatam is repeating is Yadrichaya, the word coming again, the first verse, the first word of the last verse, Yadrichaya panena, same as here. Yadrichaya, exactly same. Why? Because it's so important. Whatever comes of one's own accord, one should be happy. And one who is discontent, thinking, oh, more money will give me happiness, more this will better, bigger house, bigger car, new fancy car, new gadget, this will be the cause of repeated birth and death. You know the famous story we discussed yesterday, also the cloth merchant story, and how he wanted to just expand the business. He became a worm in this clothes store. We have discussed the story of the person who had this, so many examples, Kailash story. So money, what will come if the whole, just imagine if whole day and night one's consciousness is how do I get more money, how I expand my business, how I get a better job, how I get this, how I get more dollars, more. Antakale chamami vasmaran muktva kalivaram. That will be the cause. And one may get birth in a rich family. That's or one may become a cashier in the bank, right? Just keep counting money. Or one may become a worm in a on a pile of cash in the bank. Just sit over money whole day, right? So therefore, Bhagavatam is telling us one should be satisfied. Satisfaction. I'm sorry, it may seem to be, I'm repeating all these things for my own self, and because Bhagavatam is repeating this point again and again, because it's very, very important. That's the cause of liberation. That's the cause. So regulation leads to freedom. We are regulated. Okay, Kṛṣṇa has arranged this for me. I'll be happy. If Kṛṣṇa arranges more, I'll be happy. Tolerant. If Kṛṣṇa takes away something, I'll be happy. That's bhakti. Yes, text 26. Arundhati Mataji, you want to read?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yat satcha lavaha tashaya tejo viprasya bradate tat pasya mate ashantosad ambhasya ashuka sanit. Translation by Divine Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A Brahman who is satisfied with whatever is providentially obtained is increasingly enlightened with spiritual power, but the spiritual potency of dissatisfied Brahmana decreases as fire diminishes the potency when water is sprinkled upon it. Here is the when a Brahmana, anyone is satisfied, whatever is given to that person, you accept because it is coming from Lord Kṛṣṇa. Who are you praying for always? Is this Lord Kṛṣṇa? Whatever he gives, whatever he takes, like you said before, you be happy. Don't cry over it, because there is a reason for him to do these things, because maybe one day you realize why he did it. But as the fire, fire always engulf as we pour more ghee and ghee, but when you sprinkle the water, it diminishes. So that's the way Lord Kṛṣṇa also give our life. He takes us something and then give something back, the bhakti. And slowly, when you realize, if you think with your fully Chaitanya mind, you kind of find out there is a reason. And one day when it comes to you, you say, this is what, like you go through the trouble and now you're attending all these classes, our eyes are opening. We are thinking more of doing the bhakti instead of thinking of money and our big houses. Or now we are happy that whatever we have, we have more than enough, that we can ask for. That's the way I think.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wonderful. So we are all trying to be brahmanas, right? Trying to be Vaishnavas, which is even higher than a brahmana. We have discussed that point. So for devotees, especially Vaishnavas, brahmanas, etc., satisfaction is very important. Satisfaction will increase spiritual power, and dissatisfaction will diminish spiritual power. Very, very spiritual potency or spiritual power. So something to self-reflect upon. If we have to increase spiritual potency, then we have to develop satisfaction, whatever comes. When we see others' wealth, do we feel happy about their prosperity, or do we feel envious of their prosperity? Do we feel the desire that, oh, I should also have it? Or do we feel that others, Shastras explain, others' wealth should be considered as like a stone on the street? When we see a stone on the street, will we try to pick it up? Oh, one stone here, two stones there. We'll not pick it up. We'll say, okay, it's fine, it's just a stone. So others' wealth should be considered as stone in the street. We should be happy for their progress, for their prosperity. Not be envious, oh, how I wish I had that. Why he has that. Why my neighbor has this thing, why I don't have this thing. That is not the sign of a Vaishnava or Brahmana. On the contrary, one should be happy. Same when one sees Shastras explain another woman besides one's wife, one should think like a mother with that heart and with that intentions. Others' wealth as a stone, others' wife, daughter, sister, etc. Any other lady besides one's wife as a mother. This is the verdict of scriptures. Because these two things are very, very common in this day and age. Lust and greed. Lust and greed. Trividham narakasya dvam dwaram nashnam atmana kama krodha tatha lobhas tasmad itam triyanta chet. One should give up these. These are the doors to hell. Lust, anger, and greed. Okay, let's move on to the next verse, 27. Anyone wants to read this?
I can read, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandatanam, text number 27. Tasmat trini padayan eva vrinetvad varadhars sabha etavatayo siddhoham vittam yavad prayojanam. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Therefore, O King, from you, the best of those who give charity, I ask only 3 paces of land. By such a gift, I shall be very pleased. For the way of happiness is to be fully satisfied to receive that which is absolutely needed. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Very nice translation by Srila Prabhupada. So here, as you rightly said, we have to be having the happiness, satisfaction. So here, Lord Vamanadeva is telling that, just with the 3 paces of land, I will be satisfied. I shall be very pleased, the way happiness is to be fully satisfied. So as you rightly said, if even having everything will not be satisfied, but, a beggar, or, a poor, Vaishnava will be satisfied with whatever he has. That's my understanding. Please add Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Sorry. So, Vamanadeva is kind of given a pep talk about satisfaction, 21 to 27, that he just wants 3 paces of land. Why? Because that's a formula for happiness. I don't want anything which is not really absolutely necessary. It's a very important lesson in the practical world also, because many times we buy things which we don't need with the money which we don't have to impress the people which we anyways they don't care. Rather than trying to impress, they may feel envious about it. Therefore, this credit card business, okay, buy things on credit, forget about who will pay, how it will be paid. Therefore, and especially it's in America quite common because credit cards are available so easily. Half majority of the population are under debt because of credit cards. To buy things which we don't need to impress the people, which with the money which we don't have, taking credit to impress the people which anyways they don't care about. That's material life. So I attended a financial, planning seminar, and a devotee said a very nice point which I like to share. If something comes to us, hey, I need this. Oh, husband says this. Oh, wife says this. I need this. Oh, it's only $300. Should I buy it? And then, okay, Amazon, one click, boom, 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 put the number and done. Delivered at home, right? He said, if anything is, we can set up our own rules as a discussion with family. If anything is above $50 or if anything is above $100, or in India, it could be the equivalent, we can set our own rules that I will not buy it in a spur of a moment. I will wait for 2 weeks. Okay, husband says this, I need XYZ thing. After, if 4 weeks went by, even if the children ask for a toy, it's $100 or $200. Is it really needed? Or is it just my desire? So basically put on a hold list. Let that thing be on a hold list for a couple of weeks. And if the couple of weeks pass by and you still feel, no, this is really required, this is absolutely necessary, it's not a luxury, it's a need, then yes, buy it. I'm not saying that there would be some things which may be really required, but it's a very practical thing. That don't buy things because your neighbor has it or you saw it on the advertisement. That's what the advertisement agency is for, to make us, it's called like prompt buy or like impulsive buying. Yeah, impulsive buy. So don't be an impulsive buyer. That's what here Vamanadeva is carefully analyzing. He was being tempted a lot, right? Bali Maharaj gave a lot of good advertisements. I'll give you land, I'll give you money, I'll give you women, I'll give you gold. Isn't it impulsive? That's what the advertisement agency tells us. I'll give you this, buy this, you'll get this free. You buy this, you don't have to pay everything now. Just pay over 10 years, pay over 5 years, pay over 6 months, 0% interest, whatnot. But a person who is satisfied, I don't really need it. What's the need? I'm happy. My old car is working just fine. It's serving the good purpose of taking me from here to there. It's not broken down. It's not really needed. Then why I should go for an impulsive thing? My old phone is just working fine. Okay, it's old. It's 2 years old, but it just works the same purpose. It's just the same features. If it's broken down, I'm not saying to not get things if they're not working. And that's how, if we put it on hold for a few weeks, or sometimes if it's a bigger thing then we will really understand that. I really like that kind of practical application of this principle. Any thoughts, any additions there?
Yeah, I just want to comment on that. I think it's a very good point. I don't know many of you, some of you are in this country or not. In 2008, there was a big stock market crash. And that happened because in the prior years, the government kept on giving very low interest rate mortgage. And as a result, a lot of people just bought over their heads. And then when the money came due, they couldn't pay for it. So as a result, so many banks defaulted. And then the stock market crashed and there was a big damage to the economy. So it's collectively whole country, a lot of people suffered. And then those people who suffered lost jobs. And even today, many of them are displaced and they're struggling to get back into the economy. So this can do a lot of damage. Just a case in point. And the other thing is that we're talking about buying things more than we need because your neighbor has it. There's this English saying in that, it's called keeping up with the Joneses. So very common.
In India, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was giving a class, keeping up with the Patels. Because Patels are generally business class and they have a lot of wealth, so you don't have to keep up with them. You should be happy with what we have. So thank you for sharing those points. Anyone else? Any thoughts?
Yeah, can I change?
Sorry. Yeah, please. Go ahead.
To me, it's like if you have material, like Lord Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, like the material things you can buy, like if you want to compete with your neighbors, go ahead, compete. But the point is, at the end, you are not going to take that. But at the end, if you have the bhakti, pure devotion, and at the end, you're going to take that with you, in lotus feet. That's the way I think. That's the way I think.
That's a wonderful point. That's exactly what we read yesterday while we were reading Bhagavad Gita 2.40, for those who attend that class. Material activities and their results end with the body, but work in Krishna consciousness carries a person again to Krishna consciousness even after the loss of the body. Bhagavad Gita 2.40 purport as it is. So, very important point. No matter how much wealth we have, it will ultimately perish, or the thieves will take it, the government will take it, the dogs will take it, right? Some people search out the millionaire dogs. Some dogs have millions of dollars on their name. Or someone else will take it, the government will take, the medical bills will take it, someone will take it. So better we increase that bank balance, which no one can steal, no one can take. Thank you. Yes, Ikant Prabhu, you wanted to share something or read?
No, Prabhuji, I was just thinking what you said is completely right, but my mind, when I go to anybody's house and I see something nice in their house, I feel like, why don't I get it? I like it. I feel that sometimes.
Thank you for being honest, Mataji. It's pretty much, as I said, we are not pure. I'm not pure, sorry. So we have those propensities. I have those propensities. But therefore, now we can, therefore we need to introspect ourselves. Someone may be more attached to something. Someone may be more attached to something. So therefore, those specific sections, we can, like kind of in our notes or in our phone, write some important statements, put it on a chart or somewhere, that we can easily access this. What is the Supreme Lord telling about satisfaction? This chapter is whole about satisfaction, achieving happiness, uncontrolled senses, etc. Especially these 21 to 27 verses. What is a formula for happiness? What is a formula for developing spiritual potency? Dissatisfaction will take us down in bhakti. Satisfaction will take us up. Dissatisfaction will take us down in happiness. Satisfaction will take us up. Now, that does not mean we stop doing endeavor, that we don't have to go to that extreme either, unless we are spiritually mature at the right time, right age, and everything. So we can we can specifically write some verses, quotations, some purport, some important, put it on some document or something where we can easily access it and try to read it regularly. The mind is crazy. The mind will say, yes, 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 the neighbor really has that. You need it. You need it. How can you live without it? Then we read these statements. Is it really necessary? Is it absolutely needed for my happiness? Then we have to remind ourselves these principles, these Bhagavat. Then we can develop towards that state. It's not an easy state. Overcoming greed, overcoming lust, overcoming anger. Are these easy? No, they're very difficult. They are very, very difficult. So we have to try our endeavor, and at the time of chanting, at the time of worshipping, etc. Pray intensely, Krishna, I'm full of lust, I'm full of greed, I'm full of anger. I don't know how and ever I'll be able to overcome these vices. You please help me out. You please take care of these vices. You are Madhusudana. You are Murari. You can kill any demons. These demons in my heart are troubling me so much. Anytime I see things, I want to get those things as if I really need those for my happiness. Krishna, you help me. So then Krishna will help, seeing our determination, endeavor, and sincerity, he'll help. So both sides we have to do our part and then depend on mercy also. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna. You want to read next verse?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Shri Sukha Uvacha Iti Yukta Sahasan Aha Vanchata Pratigruhyatam Vamanaya Mahim Datum Jagraha Jalaba Janam. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Sukadeva Goswami continued, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead has thus spoken to Bali Maharaj, Bali Maharaj smiled and told him, all right, take whatever you want. To confirm this, his promise to give Vamanadeva the desired land, he then took up his weapon. His water pot, I'm sorry.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. All right. Whatever you say, we will do it. Okay, because we are your servant. And it's again good example. If we are persistent, it's a kind of a mind and intelligence dialogue. Mind was telling, hey, buy this, get this, get this. Intelligence say, no, it's not really required. I'm happy with what I have. Then ultimately mind will say, okay, I will surrender unto you. You are stronger, right? Isn't that amazing dialogue going on here? Ultimately, Bali Maharaj said, okay, I'll give you 3 paces of land, I promise. So mind intelligence dialogue happens in between us every time, every day actually. Now who will win? The one which is stronger. If the conditioned mind is stronger, then the mind will win. But if the intelligence nourished by Bhagavatam, nourished by sadhus, nourished by the Guru is strong, then intelligence will stay strong. No, it's not really needed. The mind is telling me it's needed. It's needed for my happiness. But intelligence telling me, I'm happy. It's not required. Why do I need it? Will it really cause a difference in my happiness? Question. The answer is, if after carefully discreting the answer is yes, then okay, I'll buy. If it's not, in which in most cases it's not, then probably it's just my mind tricking me. So now he took waterpot, Jala Bhajanam. Why? Because they take the sankalpa. To do the sankalpa, he took the water pot that he was about to do this promise. He took the water pot and he is about to do sankalpa. What sankalpa is about to do? Whatever you like, I'll give you. Okay. Let's see what happens next. Radha Mataji, would you like to read, please? Thank you for joining. We're so happy that you are here today. Such a pleasant surprise. Radha Konda Mataji, are you in a position to read? Okay, maybe not. Moksha Mataji? Okay, anyone else? Raghu Prabhu, you want to read?
I can read, yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna, devotees. Text 29. Vishnave Kashmam Pradasyantam Ushana Asur Sevaram Janam Chikristam Vishnu Sasyam Praha Vidam Varaha. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Understanding Lord Vishnu's purpose, Sukracharya, the best of the learned, immediately spoke as follows to his disciple, who was about to offer everything to Lord Vamanadeva. Sukracharya, being the spiritual advisor of Bali Maharaj, now is going to tell him what he really understood from all this. Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So Sukracharya is the guru of Bali. And we discussed in the previous chapters that he was the one who revived Bali back to life. When in the war he was brutally kind of injured, Sukracharya, with his Sanjeevani, Mrit Sanjeevani mantra and the powers he had, he could rekindle Bali. And Sukracharya is cognizant, understanding Lord's purpose. He is cognizant that this is not an ordinary tiny brahmana who will just take 3 steps of land. He's very cognizant of the Lord's plan, what's going to happen. So he's going to say something. Probably he's going to distract Bali for not, because he's about the water. Imagine the scene. Just take yourself to the scene. The water pot is in his hand. He's about to do the sankalpa. What sankalpa is about to do? Anyone?
He's going to basically give the whatever the Vamanadeva is asking, like a 3-step of land.
Yes, wonderful. Because he has agreed verbally, right? Now the contract is being signed. Verbal agreement has happened. In the Vedic times, the contract signed was with this sankalpa, with the water sankalpa. So the pen is in his hand. In modern terms, you can understand. Now the guru is coming. And it just reminds me of this, actually, Srila Prabhupada's, I think one senior devotee shared in this, Prabhupada and this Juhu land, we know this was a big story. So this Mr. Nair came with his guru because he thought that Prabhupada would have some mystic powers. I think someone shared in the class recently, the Prabhupada disciple shared in the class, maybe Narayani Mataji shared, I think. The pen was in his hand. The guru was with him, and his guru, Mr. Nair's so-called guru, and then the goal was to somehow not sign this deal, right? And then Prabhupada then called at the middle of the night when the guru was sleeping, and Prabhupada told his disciple to call Nair and bring him there, and then he signed it with Prabhupada's words, the magic of Prabhupada's words. And then he said, well, how come I signed it? How come I agreed for this proposal? So pretty much sometimes the guru may not be the best guru because of selfish reasons and discourage the disciple to not do the right thing. That is not the right purpose. Well, all that we will see later, tomorrow. But here, Sukracharya is concerned and is about to speak something to Bali, which we will study tomorrow. What did Sukracharya speak to Bali when the scene is, so the water pot is in his hand and the sankalpa is about to happen? Any comments, additions, questions before we stop for today? Okay, we will pause here. Granthrat Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samarita Gaura Bhaktavinda ki jai. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.